What's going on, people? It's your boy Shingy. Welcome to You Know The Score. It's just me today, and I just needed to talk about the game yesterday, where we saw Sevilla dump my team, Man United, at the Champions League in the last 16. Absolutely dejected, but I can't fucking make out what happened yesterday. Like I really can't. And not even just yesterday, in the tie itself, in the two games that we played against Sevilla. Now, in the away leg, people talking about how some people saying how the 0-0 draw was a defensive masterclass. Some people were saying it's a decent result for us to take back to Old Trafford and we'll deal with them at home. Now, when I was telling people that performance in Seville was a pathetic performance, dead performance, what kind of intent was that to go and win a game of football? I was lambasted. Like people laughed at me. People were getting onto me, telling me, you don't know football, you don't know this, you don't know that. Man, fuck off, man. Like the week before that and the night before that, we saw teams show intent to go and win the game, win the first leg, or have some sort of intent. You saw City go out and spank. Liverpool went and spanked Porto. City went and spanked Basel. Juve and Tottenham, they went toe to toe. You saw Chelsea had the intent to try and win the game against Barcelona, a good Barcelona team, and then Barcelona came back at them. You had Bayern Munich on the front foot. Real Madrid against PSG showed a lot of intent to win the game, even though it was built up to be a very tough game for them. And we went out there and decided to play for a 0-0 draw, as if Sevilla are some sort of, I don't know, A-class team. And it just confused me, because for me, my worry was the fact that if we get back to Old Trafford, and for example, we're 1-0 up, and there's like 10 minutes to go, players are going to get nervous, they're going to retreat, and anything can happen. And, we could see the goal later on, they go through on away goals. Or, we could be cruising in the game and we get a red card, and it's 0-0 at the time, or it's 1-0 at the time. They grow in confidence during the game and they end up winning the game. So, for me, that game, again in Sevilla, we wasted basically 90 minutes to do nothing. Now we move on to the game last night. Now, we're on a high. I mean, we've just had 3 massive games to try and cement ourselves in the top 4 and in our race for second. 3 massive games which we came through. Chelsea showed great character to come back and beat a difficult Chelsea side, because they started off well. Palace, great character again. Like I said, I had to give credit where it was due to Mourinho for the changes we made, because the first half was absolutely fucking shit. Absolutely shit. And then we come back 1-3-2, Matic with a spectacular finishing in the last minute. And against our big rivals, those cunts up the M62 Liverpool, we beat them 2-1. And you're thinking, okay, we're on a high. We've won 3 big games. Let's take that confidence into the game, right, against Sevilla, and just rip them apart. This Sevilla team is dead. It is dead. It is not the Sevilla teams of 2 years gone by, or 3 years or 4 years ago. This Sevilla team is dead. Even the team that Leicester beat last season is much better than the team that we was facing this year. And I don't understand. We go into the game, you look at the team sheet, I'm walking home now, I'm looking at Twitter and I'm seeing the team sheet, I'm seeing Fellaini on the pitch. A guy that hasn't played for around 2 months? He hasn't played for 2 months, and he came on against Liverpool for around 45 minutes, and you deemed him fit enough to play in the last 16 in a Champions League game, after the team has been doing so well. Now, I struggle to understand what was going on there. I mean, you decided to include Fellaini and decided to omit Mata and McTominay out of the team. McTominay, who's actually done a good job in the middle of the park, You know, he showed great composure. You know, he's been very mature in his approach, in the way he's handled himself in the games. You wouldn't think he's a young lad. And then Mata, who really changed the game against Palace, and you know, was a definitive factor into why we beat Liverpool on the weekend. And you leave them on the bench. Then you accommodate Sanchez, right? And play him on the left, and then you put Rashford on the right. When Rashford had a fucking sick game on the left-hand side and terrorized Trent Alexander-Arnold. Terrorized him on the left, and that's what Rashford can do. Now, I saw the starting lineup and I was thinking, wow, I mean, it does not make any sense. But we still should have enough to go and win the game. And that didn't quite materialise. So first 5 minutes, things looked fine. It looked like, you know, we're going to go for it. And then all of a sudden, the handbrake came on. I'm sure that basically so many people wanted to sleep during that game. Honestly, it was so tiresome to watch. I was thinking, what the fuck is going on? The atmosphere in the stadium, I think the performance just sucked the atmosphere. It sucked the life out of the stadium. I mean, people couldn't make what they was watching. There was no intent to go and win the game, which I don't understand. This Sevilla team, right, have conceded 20 goals in the last 4 games. I think they lost 5-3 against Real Betis. They lost 5-1 against Eibar. Right, I think they lost 5-1 or 5-2 against Atletico Madrid, and they conceded another 5 against another team. Now, you look at those teams, right, on paper. The fuck is an Eibar, right? A substandard Spanish La Liga team. Real Betis, they're not really that great. Okay, I can understand them losing to a team like Atletico Madrid, but the point I'm making is that this Sevilla team is not a great team, and we allowed them to grow within the game. They tried to win the game, and I don't understand why it took us until the 81st minute after Lukaku scored to go and try and win the game when the game was already lost. Like, I don't understand what Mourinho's thinking was last night. I don't understand. I don't get it. And he had the audacity after the game to say that we played well. We played well. I don't comprehend. I can't fathom. I'm not too sure what he was watching. I don't understand what he was watching. Now, I know a lot of people, you know, have made knee-jerk, you know, comments saying that they want Mourinho out and things like that. Now, this is a difficult one for me because I'm kind of on the fence, because although I feel that we needed a progressive and an expansive manager who's going to coach the players to play good football, who's out there, for one. Number two, I have to give Mourinho some credit in some way, shape and form, because he's dragged us from 6th place up into 2nd. He's won us 2 trophies. He's brought in good players, but it just doesn't seem to be clicking at the moment. And I think that the problem with him is that he's not allowing the players to play. He's too tactical, too methodical. The problem is that he concerns himself or worries about the opposition too much, as opposed to the qualities that we have in our team. We've got ballers in our front line. Yet you want to restrict them to play defensive football. I don't get it. Yesterday I was more disappointed than I was angry. I was more angry after the away leg, because I thought that was despicable. I just didn't understand it. I was more angry after that leg. But after yesterday, I just couldn't make out what was going on. Couldn't make out what was going on in his head. And it was an embarrassing night for Man United, and even his comments after the game were embarrassing. I mean, he had the audacity to try and chuck Manchester United under the bus by saying, I came here as a Porto manager and Real Madrid manager and dumped them out in the last 16, so it's nothing new to Man United. What the fuck is that? So you're trying to protect your ego, you're trying to protect your legacy, instead of taking ownership and taking accountability of the fact that you got it wrong. And those are the things that are going to irritate Man United fans. Because when I heard that last night, I was so irate. I was like, what the fuck? Why couldn't you just come out and say, look, we didn't play well. I got some of my decisions wrong. It's something that we'll learn from, blah, 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 and we'll move on. We'll move on from this. We'll go into the game against Brighton and try and get it right. Like, take some accountability for the mistakes that you made yesterday. And clearly you made such a huge mistake in such an important game. I still don't understand it. Three big games off the back of 3 big games, right? And you decide to approach the game negatively. Honestly, it's very frustrating. It's very frustrating. I don't know what we do going forward. I really don't, because I know Mourinho, he's not going to change his ways. He's not. I mean, he's not going to change his philosophy for the sake of Man United. I don't believe so. I really don't. But the thing is, the longer he is stubborn, the more irate Man United fans are going to get. Because this brand of football is not sustainable. It's not sustainable. People will get bored. This is how Van Gaal was hounded out. This is how Moyes was hounded out. People have tried to give Mourinho the benefit of the doubt and a bit more time, right? And try to stabilise the club because it was a sinking ship. Now, the more he continues to play like this, yeah, the more irate people are going to get, and the more people are going to start to turn, and people are going to be disgruntled in the stadium. I mean, there was boos at the end of the game. Man United fans, we don't necessarily boo our own team when we do lose. But the problem was that fans, they will accept if we go out playing good football, or at least trying to win the game with some sort of intent, right? But if you play like that, fans are not going to have it. Fans and pundits alike, they're not going to have it. You're going to be lambasted. You're going to be lambasted continuously for playing that way, for playing so negatively. All we had to do was go for it. In the first 20 minutes, show Sevilla that we're not boys. We're not boys. We've got the pace to get by them. But no. You wanna fix something that is not broke. Honestly, I still don't get it. And this business of playing players out of position, it's got to stop, man. It's not on. I mean, Ash Young, yeah, he does a good job here and there, but he's not a left back. You've got a natural left back in Luke Shaw. Give the boy a chance. He showed in around 4 or 5 games when Ashley Young was injured that he can do a job. He's getting better. But you don't want to give him a chance. What is that about? I don't get it. I really don't get it. And you've got Sanchez, who's kind of disrupted the cohesion in our team that we kind of had, between your likes of your Martials, Lingard, Pogba. The link up was there. Now you've brought in Sanchez, right? Which is probably a guy. Did we need? Who knows? But you're trying to force him into a team, and it's not fitting. It's like fitting a square peg in round holes. It's not working at the moment. It's not working, and players like Rashford and Martial and Lingard and Pogba are currently suffering from that. And I don't just want to put the blame on Sanchez because everybody knows he's a world-class player on his day, but it's just not working right now. Slowly blood him in. It's disappointing. It really is disappointing. I mean, after the final whistle went, you had to congratulate Sevilla, but it was so depressing. So depressing to see how we went out. We went out, without even putting up some sort of fight. We just let the game peter out. We let it peter out. And, now we're out of the Champions League, and will we finish second? I hope we do. We've got ourselves a bit of a gap now. But, Mourinho, you got to sort it out, bro. You got to sort it out, really, honestly. Like, you need to stop being stubborn. Like, try and identify what it is that you're doing wrong. Look at yourself in the mirror and say, am I doing the right job? Am I doing what's best for the team, or am I doing what's best for me? Right? Look at yourself in the mirror, bro. It's not on, man. It's not on. Yo, I felt so sorry for the Man United fans that went up to the game yesterday. It's not on. It's not on to see them perform like that. Nah, man, honestly, bro, like, I don't know, man, but I'm actually lost for words here. I'm lost for words. I don't know if there's anything more I can say, to be honest. But congratulations to Sevilla. Man United, you've got to change your style, man. You've got to change your brand, man. Change your brand of football and sort it out. But yeah, guys, thanks for tuning in, man. I mean, you know, make sure you comment. I want to hear your thoughts. Like, share, and subscribe to You Know The Score. Yeah, and I'll be back again, man. Honestly, I'm disappointed, man.